So we're back in the room and we just interviewed our first ever celebrity guest for our podcast.
She's famous.
Miss Heidi Klum. And she was fantastic.
She's great. Klumatron.
The Kluminator.
Kluminator.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to sailing on that for the summer.
100%.
Yeah, can't wait.
And she wore such a cute little look.
It was adorable.
And yeah, just love her. And like, I'm the biggest Heidi Klum fan ever. She's always been the sweetest to me. So yeah, gagged and gooped.
Awesome.
And as we recorded it, I mean, this probably gives away a timestamp of when we did this, but who cares? Lady Gaga was doing the opening ceremony, the Olympics. My brother texted me saying that he said this was about the whole thing, not just the Gaga part. He said the Gaga part was amazing, but he said the whole opening ceremony was really weird and lame. He said the performance was amazing by her, but he was like, the rest of it, he was like, how did a country use that as their Olympic opening ceremony?
Interesting.
It was like a bunch of people. You know, this is something that doesn't need to be ever allowed.
Go on.
Is, you know, when people like have a long pole and then they strap someone to the top of the pole and they like bend back and forth?
No.
You know, they're like Cirque du Soleil style performers and they're on the end of a pole.
Okay.
Taylor Swift uses them in her show.
Okay.
They shouldn't be used because they're lame. And there's a huge part of the Olympic opening ceremony was those.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You're not a fan?
Not a fan of Paris.
But
is actually what I'm not a fan of.
That's actually somewhere we have great issues with.
Yeah, it's facts.
Yeah.
Spitting
Foul.
facts.
Yes. Yeah, we love that. I have an issue at the moment, which is
me. You have an issue with me.
Yeah, it kind of extends to you. It's people who get on the airplane wearing shorts. Feels like something you would do.
Wait, what's wrong with wearing shorts? I pretty much turn up wearing underwear.
No, it's so disgusting to be like, I don't want to see legs.
I take my shoes off.
I don't want to, no, yeah, it's vile. I can't believe you did that. It's all, minger is an underused word.
Underused word.
But no, I can't handle it. I've been around too many people seeing their like exposed knees and I don't need to see that. It's just not for me. Oh, well, there should be like a rule you have to wear. The outside world doesn't bother you in there.
What's a knee?
Where you sit, I have issues with children. Children in business class should not be allowed.
They're not going to remember it. I'd much rather a dog in business class than a child because the dog's cute and provides like adorable relief in your boring flight.
So much entertainment.
Whereas the kid, it's like, you snotty nosed little brat. Why are you in here?
It's the screaming, it's the crying, it's the kerfuffle.
And also, I remember the first time I got to fly business, and it was actually America's Next Top Model were flying me out to guest judge Slay, and I felt like the bee's knees being flown out in business. And it's such a nice memory. And I'm like, oh, well, if you grew up in business, like, I mean, lovely, but then I guess life goes on without having the experience of like, oh, this is nice. But it's just, there's nowhere to go up. I guess you fly private eventually.
Scheduled is disgusting. Yeah, that's true.
Cut to my children constantly flying in business with me.
Yeah, crying.
Their entire childhoods.
Crying.
No. They go different flight with the nanny. That's what's going to happen.
I also think everyone would be happier if commercial aircrafts were like assigned kid flights.
Plane.
Yeah, where it's just like, because all these people, it's a stressful thing with the stroller and the bags and this, and maybe make it so the boarding time is like 3 hours long to let you all get your shit on there and fold your buggy and do the thing.
Love that.
And then the other flight is just adults who are wearing like ankle length pants, and that's great.
No, I'm turning up in Y-fronts. I'm joking.
I
love
can't
to wear
handle
a baggy
the short.
boxer short as my flight attire.
So unacceptable.
Yeah, but I made the error because on the way to LA, I just got fucking freezing. I was freezing my tits off on that flight.
But you were wearing pants.
Was I?
Yeah, you just took your shoes off. If you were wearing shorts, I wouldn't have flown with you. I would have taken a different flight.
Because of the smell.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, I also I promise this whole episode won't be about fucking planes. But like, my problem is, why is it still so gross to fly? Like, why is the airport so gross? Why is the flight so lame? Why is the plane not looking different than it did in fucking Mad Men? In episodes of Mad Men, they're in the same plane that I'm flying in.
It is quite antiquated.
Like, I was on a flight not long ago where there was an ashtray. When was that from?
Do you remember that flight we took with that weird airline that was Spanish that turned up? It was called like Wow Air or something. Yeah. And they had not only ashtrays, but those detachable remote control things. And it was one shared TV. The big box that was in the whole plane or the whole cabin was just looking at this one TV that was up on the ceiling. It was horrible.
I also once flew to Kiev and the flight had that. It was a shared TV screen. And I was like, what is going on?
No.
And it was like a movie. It was a movie where, it was Queen Latifah skiing. I don't know why anyone wants to watch that on a flight, even though I did and I loved it. And then you just plugged in your headphones and you all had to simultaneously join into the viewing experience. I think it was called like Last Holiday.
No, I don't want to do that. A shared experience with strangers.
Meanwhile, that just leads me to a side note of one of my favorite films is The Beauty Shop with Queen Latifah. Great film.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I mean, it's terrible, but it's great.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing.
Great, because it's a classic type thing.
No.
Oh.
It's not a classic. It's just great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. I don't like kids at weddings. I'm against that.
No. Why are they there?
No.
They don't care about your nuptials.
They really don't.
Kids are lovely, all that jazz, but like not someone's wedding. If you've got kids and you're getting married, have your kids there.
But even then, I don't know if that's appropriate.
I think one cute kid arrives to be the flower girl and throws flowers out.
Okay.
And then she gets shoved in an Uber and sent home.
Alone.
Doesn't need to be
unaccompanied minor.
Like Uber pool. No, but it's just like we don't need a kid like arsing around. And my mother is sort of a wedding planner.
Okay.
And so I've grew up around like thousands of weddings. It's like kids are just fucking brats at weddings.
Awful.
And also the mixture of drunk adults and then like bored and hyperactive children is a potent combination of irritation.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I was just with your mother recently. I'm not going to do that story. Don't worry.
They bullied me and tried to make me cry. Not joking.
Yeah, your mother and I both identified your weak spots.
Both mean women just having a go at me.
Exactly. We were on a train. Now I'm going to tell the story. We were on a train and decided to both bully Christian for 4 hours. And by hour 2 and maybe a half, you decided to have major sense of humor failure.
Yeah, major.
And then screamed at us.
I didn't scream.
You literally screamed at us. You screamed at us. And then when you started, I could see a little tear in your eyes. Your mother and I decided to go, you're going to cry about it. And then we chanted, cry at you across the table on the Amtrak. And then you cried.
I didn't cry.
You did.
But I'll tell my side of the story.
You cried.
I was very tired. I had been working and I was on the train from... it's like a 4-hour train journey. And these two bitches were just making the same, they were like, oh, you're a piece of trash, you belong in the trash, blah, blah, blah. All these like silly jokes that would never get me down. But I was so tired that when it got on to like minute 80 of the repeated joke where I had no escape because you two had sandwiched me in, I was just like having a serious sense of humor failure. I was like really, and I just went, I need you to both stop.
No, you didn't.
And
you cried.
then you went, are you going to cry? And you went, cry. And so I just had to zoom into my phone and I became so productive and I did loads of work texts while I ignored the shit out of you for an hour.
Well, thanks for that. We've really felt the love.
It was not nice. I have a sense of humor failure rarely, but it really happened.
It's true.
Really
I haven't seen it in a while.
In that context, I was not feeling it.
The original story I was going to tell is I went and saw your mother in England and learned that she has managed to domesticate swans.
Yes, my mother has swans. She's 5.
It's quite impressive.
Yep, it's quite slay. There used to be 6, but 1 passed.
That's sad.
While laying eggs. Sad.
It's awful.
Yeah, really sad. Bummer. And she was like calling me, be like, the swan's in labour and it's not doing well. I was like in New York, be like,
that's horrendous.
Okay. Bummer.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, she loves her swans.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were having lunch and the lunch, I assume, ran over for the swans. So we left the house and she was going to feed the swans, but she was late to feed the swans. So all 5 of these swans had come up to the house from the pond, quite the walk. And they were like hissing at us.
Yeah, the swans are quite jokes. Like they're basically in the UK, a swan is a protected animal. It's the queen. It's, I guess now the king's animal.
Yeah,
and it means that no one's allowed to harm them. No one's actually technically allowed to own them. But basically, if your swan chooses to live, like I grew up in the countryside. There's a lake right beside the house, and if they just choose to love it there, then you get to hang out with them. But my mum made it her mission to make it like utopia for swans. Like she comes out 3 times a day, like clockwork, with food to the dot. And so they're so well trained that if they don't receive their feed on time, they're livid.
It's wild. They were really angry about that.
Yeah, I think they're fun. People are scared of swans. They're fine. They flap their wings and hiss at you, and you're like, hissy, hissy, and you tell them stop.
Are you still doing mouth breathing? What are you doing? Nose breathing versus mouth breathing? You're doing something weird.
What?
You the other day told me you chose to now like breathe out of your nose instead of your mouth.
Are you well?
We had a whole conversation about this in Boston. You're doing nose breathing, not mouth breathing.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. So, I remember this now. Yeah, there's this thing where basically like breathing through your mouth makes you ugly. And I've been gasping through this mouth for years.
This makes so much sense. Everything. Yeah.
But so I'm like, apparently it's like, if you breathe through your mouth, your muscles in your face become elongated and your face grows longer, and like you look like this slug. And but if you clamp it shut and you breathe through your nose, apparently you've got a more attractive face. Like it grows more attractive over time.
Huh.
None of this is fact checked.
Much like the name of this podcast.
Yeah, much like everything we ever utter on this podcast. I'm sure so many of the facts are wrong. But so I want to do it more, but it's just such an effort. It's like a habit.
You have to really focus on it.
Yeah, like I almost want to get like my like nose made, like the holes made bigger so I can breathe better. So, yeah,
right, that's high up on your list of plastic surgery
like a nasal
goals.
Augmentation.
I'm sure that's a service.
Like that. But yeah, that's something I'm doing. Mouth taping is meant to be like the big craze when you sleep.
But I have this fear of suffocation.
I did it and I thought I was going to die.
Really?
But then I was fine. And that's the end of the story.
But you fell asleep and had a night?
At first, it was like, I'm not going to lie, 10 minutes of like sheer panic while I was laid in that bed. I was like really focusing on breathing through my nose. But your body just like naturally opens up your nose a bit more. Like all of a sudden because I always thought, if I get kidnapped and they put duct tape over my mouth, I have a blocked nose half the time.
Right.
I'm going to die. But I think your body just like figures it out.
But what if you roll over on the wrong side and then you like...
What?
Like if you're in bed with your mouth
nose
taped.
first?
It's a potential.
I hope you just sleep every night, mouth and nose planted into the pillow, just on your
just face down like a massage table with the cutout. It's much better for you.
You go one of those machines where you strap yourself in and then it swivels upside down.
Yeah, that's me.
Did you see there was that? It's like anyone who can be bothered to do it. There was like those roller coasters where they like turn. It's like a ring around a pole that goes really high up in the air, and then the people go upside down or something. It got stuck when they were upside down, and they were stuck for 30-something minutes upside down. And they all, it's really weird, when they came out, they all were covered in freckles because all the vessels in their face had started to burst. And they all have like,
horrendous.
They all technically have all those little blood vessels the same in their brain.
Right.
Like we're really not designed to be upside down. Shocker.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel upside down most days of the week.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a feeling, not a motion.
It's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at my notes. I don't have many for today.
Okay.
I don't have many. Well, I had one gripe that I wanted to approach.
Only one?
Well, I've got many. But my curious question is, like, why on earth has every TV show, company, conglomerate decided that in order to do promo for whatever they're doing, they have to go to the Empire State Building? Why are they all? What about? We have a TV show about dragons. We need to be on top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah,
Teletubbies. We'll leave that out because we work with them. But why are they on the top of the Empire State Building?
I think perhaps it feels like success. It's like a measured.
Why?
I think perhaps around the world that is a symbol of like making
it's not even the tallest building. Go to the Burj.
No, but making it in New York City and you're at the top of the Empire State Building and it's like a feeling and it's like the Statue of Liberty type thing.
I don't get it.
It's like a success point.
It's not even the tallest building in New York.
That's true. But it's a landmark.
Also, One World Trade really made an error of not having a giant observation deck at the top.
They literally do.
What?
Literally.
We did a show in it.
That's their business, that's an observation deck.
Oh, but that's enclosed. No.
Oh, you mean?
I mean outside, wind in your hair.
I think there is a little bit that's outside.
I don't believe you. Do you remember when we went up the Burj Khalifa and I was terrified?
That was pretty horrendous.
Oh, I wanted to die.
Yeah, going outside. Also, I'm convinced that was fake.
What?
I think we got into an elevator.
What part of it was fake? Because we were there.
I think we got into an elevator in a small building and it felt like you were going up, and then we were just stood in like a bunch of LED screens that made it look like you were up that high.
It was unnerving. And aren't they building another one that's taller?
Which will be helpful
city.
Because what you lack up the Burj is a sense of scale. Yeah, context is everything. So
I saw what was Elon's company, the space company, were like doing a video about their space rocket. It's the largest space rocket that goes up into space and then comes back. It's huge, fucking huge. But they made one vital error of like when they were like showing it to journalists, because it's in an area that like for miles around it is completely flat. So there's just zero frame of reference to how big the object is. So whenever they were catching it in photos and video, it just didn't look that big.
Yeah, it needs to be next to a car, next to an apartment building, next to something. I wanted to talk about, seeing as we were just with a German, about your German stalker.
That's such a good topic.
Yeah, it's a great topic.
I had a German stalker.
Yeah, like a legitimate one.
I did.
Yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah.
It was actually a thing.
Why have we not discussed this before?
It was pretty wild.
Oh, where do we start?
I mean, so it started, I can start us off with, she would email the business probably 7 times a week, probably 3 times a day, with various examples of her artwork that she was doing. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then she would send these very long letters, and I mean like paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs.
And this was in combination with a lot of DMs as well, and replies to stories, and just a lot of social media presence, like comments. And
she was really
fallen off the map. I haven't heard anything.
I reported her to Interpol, and I am hoping that they took swift action against her, because if she was just stalking you, she must have been stalking others. There's no way someone would just do you.
Excuse me?
It's just not
Excuse
plausible.
me?
Like if your hobby is
people
stalking,
are lining up around the block.
If your hobby is being a stalker, you're not just going to pick you. That's not how that works.
But it developed beyond the messages.
It did, and it became an in real life experience.
So then I went to Germany to do Germany's Next Top Model with Heidi, and I was in a suite in the Soho house there.
You were.
And I get a letter slid below. And also there's no public information that I'm even fucking there.
In Germany to begin with.
Yeah, in Germany, never mind my hotel room. And I get a letter slipped below my door. And I can't even remember what the letter said, but it had a letter and then it had a USB stick. It was a letter from her to me. And I was like, how the fuck did this gal find me?
It's wild.
And then there was a USB stick being like, please plug this in and look. And I never looked, which I really regret. Also, I was like, USB?
It must have.
I need a USB-C. I was like, what year do you live in, Han?
Wild.
You need to get off your Dell and get an Apple. But
the pinnacle of when this became
weird. It got
scary.
than this. And also, I still want to know how she got that. Maybe I'd done a story of me and I did a selfie.
Maybe she recognized the background.
She recognized the interior,
But for me, when this became weird, is she sent a form of digital communication, which was an email that she sent us, that was basically referencing the fact that in London, you have an apartment with your brother, and you had put out onto your terrace, onto the balcony, a specific plant. And
my mum had gave me a cutting of an oak tree from the countryside and put it into a plant pot. So we had like an oak tree that was like, I don't know, 30 inches, 20 inches tall on our balcony. And she emailed saying, you can't grow an oak tree on a balcony, silly. And I was like, oh, what is happening?
I mean, that is absolutely terrifying.
And I'd never, there's no information about it posted anywhere whatsoever. And I don't think I've ever posted anything about my apartment in London, ever.
No.
So it was just very, and me and my brother, really tried to work out how she'd figure this out. We think, obviously, there's legal records as, the owner of the apartment.
Right.
That, my name's there. So we think she somehow, found the stuff. But also what's weird is the balcony overlooks a canal. It's a weird place for someone to have a view of.
It's also weird for her to travel internationally from Germany to your balcony in London.
A military drone flying over.
Possibly. That was the drone. I just heard it.
Yeah,
the drone. Take off. She's back.
I forgot her name, but yeah.
It was like Velma or something.
I don't even know whether I've told many people in my life about that story.
It's wild.
I mean, it never got scary or anything.
She was German. Maybe it was Heidi the whole time.
Very Heidi. You can't go. Oh, tree on a balcony, silly. I love that.
I hope it was her.
Ah, what a great topic to have brought up. I totally forgot.
I remembered it in the middle of the night.
I wonder whether that'll ever happen again. I don't know. People, back when I had green hair, people were more interested.
In the stalking community?
Just in general.
Generally?
Just in me. Like, I don't know, like I'd get stopped more for photos and things, and that's when I had the stalker. Once I got rid of that green hair, no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Love it.
People that you really seem to give a fuck about lately are your baristas.
Live.
Yeah, you're really into that.
So I hate everyone. But a barista, love it. That assured short interaction is so dreamy to me. I know it's only going to last a minute. So therefore, I'm there for it. And and also the ruder the barista, the more into it I am. Like if she is just being unnecessarily mean to me when I'm purchasing something from her business, love her. Love her. So there's this one who's so fun. And I give her gifts for her birthday every year now.
You do, but I think let's describe the gifts.
Well, so the first one, by the way, these are things that she never expressed any form of interest in whatsoever. Like
at all.
No interest in these items. I gave her a glowing T-Rex lamp.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah, that was last year.
She loved it. That was last year's. And then this year, I gave her a dead mouse that was cast into a ball of resin.
So it's essentially a snow globe, but no snow. Which was
expensive.
It was. It really was. Yeah, but you hand it to her in the coffee shop. That's what makes me laugh.
Yeah, and I can tell that she and all the other baristas think I'm a weirdo.
For sure.
I love it so
I think
much.
everyone in our office thinks you're a weirdo. I was sat at my desk and you pick up a bag and you said to me, do you want to come to the coffee shop? It's my barista's birthday. And I was like, sure.
It's great. And then I ordered a coffee. I have a very specific order. It's whole milk mocha, to-go cup, hot, with less chocolate than normal. Because I'm not a child. And I ordered one to my apartment the other day, and on the top of the lid said from one rodent to another, which I thought was hilarious.
So this starts
she recognised the order.
This could be the stalker. This could be a new
one.
Oh
my God, I'd love it. She's great. She's great. She rubs glitter on her face in the day, and she's superb. But yeah, it's my favourite type of thing. I love a social interaction that I know is going to end soon.
True.
If it's like
you like a term limit, you really do.
Oh yeah, like even when I'd go on dates back in the day, I would be like, "Oh yeah, of course I can meet for a drink, but I'm meeting a friend an hour after."
Right.
So it's like there's an assured time limit, and then if it was lame, I could bounce, and if it was great, I'd be like, "Oh, I cancelled on my friend. Let's stay." Like, it's just it's all about
That's the metric of
getting
success
out
for your datees.
Oh yeah, so sorry to the people who got the excuse
the
and then I
heaps
left.
of men at home. Yeah,
but yeah, so hilarious. Love my baristas.
Wow.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else I'd enjoy a short interaction with.
It's very limited.
Very limited. I don't love humans much.
Do you like a bartender?
No.
No, it's a different energy.
No, I'm there because I'm there you're not my friend.
Right.
I don't know you like that.
You just know my drink order off by heart.
Also, I'm not really a drinker. Shocker. I'm not really a drinker.
He says whilst drinking.
I have a Hugo Spritz and a fly, apparently.
The flies are really doing
but
a bit.
No, I'm not a huge drinker unless it's Casa Cipriani, and then I'm a drinker.
I had far too much to drink the other night.
Which was every night.
I then woke up with a dog in my bed. That was not my dog.
This is actually true. He sent me a photo.
The fly.
Sorry. Yeah, you sent me a photo of a dog.
Yeah, so I went to a dinner party and a man turns up with his boyfriend and a dog. And the dog was called Penny and it's really cute. And I was like, wow. And I have a series of photos in my camera roll with the timestamps of us, the evolution of my friendship with Benny. And we start to, hang out and he sits near me. And then at some point around 10 p.m., which means I was having a tough time at the dinner party to be this drunk by 10 p.m. The next photo is me in an Uber with the dog headed home. The following photo is me walking the dog along the Hudson River at about 11 p.m.
Did you ask his permission to steal his
dog? Don't quite recall, but I woke up.
Also, who's this person who brings a dog to a party?
I think it was a garden party, like a dinner party in a garden.
But still, it's a dinner fucking party.
It's a strange choice.
Don't turn up with a dog.
Yeah, but the strangest thing was, I'm not really sure how this happened, but how the dog got there, terrifying part of all of this was at around 6:58 a.m. I actually remember it because I saw my phone like when I pushed it. I'm in bed, mortifyingly.
You were still up?
No, I was asleep.
Oh,
but I'm woken up just by woof. And I was like, what the actual fuck is in the bedroom? And there's just this dog, quite large, at the door, just wanting to go out. And I was like, right. So we get up. We went on a 3-hour walk. I think I was still drunk when I woke up.
Should this owner have a dog?
Wild. So then I just start to look through my phone and it's all these messages at 1 a.m. being like, I can't believe you kidnapped his dog, ha 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 ha, from all the guests at the dinner party. And I'm like, oh, so you all knew I took the dog. And now I have the dog. And then I had to do the walk of shame and take that dog back to its owner.
And was the owner pressed about it? Or
not really, no.
Oh my God, if someone had stolen my dog when I had a dog, I would have burnt the city to the ground to find my dog. And the dog was super cute, by the way.
Adorable,
super cute.
Such a great dog. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was interesting.
I can't wait for like in a year's time it to come out that you've just been stealing people's dogs from the park for years and this is all a made up story.
Yeah, this is just to dilute the press when it comes out. I told you everyone that I was stealing dogs. Yeah.
Plausible deniability, but or whatever it's called. But we love stealing pets.
I might do it more often.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to start just swiping them at cocktail parties and going to people's houses and just swiping the dog. Just popping in. I just think
without them knowing, I just climb through the window, I take the dog.
I think it's about being invited in and then taking the dog.
Is it? Yeah. Don't do that to me.
I'm going to do it frequently.
Don't you dare do that to my tortoises. They need special care.
I'm going to take your tortoises hostage.
All my tropical fish, just fish in your pockets. Angela. Yeah. Angela's the angelfish, and she's quite famous in my household.
Yeah, I think it's about stealing the dogs because that's just like fun.
Fair. Do you still have a dog?
Yeah, in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's a cute dog.
It's a great dog. Not sure he's going to be happy though.
I don't know whether I'll need to get this edited out afterwards, but our neighbour near our office is Cindy Crawford.
No, it's not. It's
the
other supermodel.
And whenever she's in that office, because it's fucking pumped, I release Natt's dog purposefully out of our office because it runs straight into her office. And then I've got an excuse to be like, oh, sorry, the dog's in here. And then she's like, cute dog. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
You just want to strike up conversation with her.
I do.
Yeah, again, for a limited time.
I might just need to bleep her name out. But a supermodel.
But that's also like a social interaction that you can then control. Yeah, because you then get to go and say hello to her, but also take the dog.
I know another interaction I quite like. I like a brief chat with a stranger in an elevator.
It's fucking weird. Okay.
Seconds.
Really?
Seconds of chat, but sometimes interesting. Only if they're vibing with that, not forcing on them. But I've spoken to Christy in the elevator before.
But you also, I've noticed, like a conversation in a pool.
No, I don't. I was doing that out of being polite because it was someone I know.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Actually, no, take my wallet and leave me alone in the pool.
From the pool.
Yeah. Like I want to just lay there in tranquility and peace and stare at the sky.
In the pool?
Yeah, I call it logging it. Me and my friends used to say that as a teenager, we'd just log it.
So you're being a log in a river?
Get stoned and then you just lay there staring up at the sky. So nice.
Is that a thing?
No, but it could be.
Huh.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Okay, so I've got another complaint, which I feel bad because we had an American-focused Sorry, this fly.
Your ADHD is actually out of control.
The fly is assaulting me. And I can't focus.
Pray for Christian.
We had an American-focused complaint in our last episode.
Yeah.
But this isn't a regular thing. I've just got one nil more. I've got loads for English people too. I'm over Americans being like, I'm Italian, but their 40th grandfather removed was the Italian one. And they've had 30 generations in the US. Or, I'm Irish, so I get it. No, you don't.
No, they're all
No, you don't.
Irish.
You're not British. Why are you saying this? I'm sure I could do 23andMe and look back into the past of my genetics and find something back there. I'm not using that as my identity today. Move on.
No, but they really do use it.
It bugs me.
Yeah.
Like they can pretty much see my eyes roll as they start to mention it. Because I'm like, unless you were born there or like your parent, I guess. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I can deal with the parent.
I can deal with the parent grandparent at most, but I literally hear people being like, well, about 5 generations ago, like my aunt moved from Ireland. Like, no, you're not Irish.
Yeah, absolutely not.
End of rant, but
that's an issue. You recently got rained on by liquid concrete.
I did.
How was
liquid
that?
concrete showered on me from like 8 floors up.
Nice.
And you know what's hilarious about it was I was leaving rehearsals for a Broadway show that I'm working on, doing the costume design for. And I was leaving and I arrived, spilled a coffee on me, had to fucking go back to my hotel room because, you know, got to keep it fresh. Then came back with fresh clothes. As I'm walking back in, concrete rains on me. So I had to just turn around and go back. But yeah, there was like a building site and I got rained on with concrete and it was lame. And it didn't hurt, but it was weird. And I was also a little bit like, what if that was a brick? They all seemed, all the builders seemed remarkably chill about the fact that liquid rock had fallen on me.
Did it solidify?
It did, quite rapidly. It was all in my hair.
How did you get it out?
Water, it just came out. I don't really understand that part either.
It's not very reassuring for
maybe it wasn't concrete, maybe it was mortar. I don't know, something that just came out with water. But yeah, it wasn't cool. Oh, here's one important note. J-Lo, I love her.
Why?
Because we need to talk about, I think,
Jennifer
I'm not
Lopez.
one for salacious.
I enjoy her.
Yeah, I'm not one for salacious celebrity gossip on this podcast.
Okay.
But like, I think it's so out of order how much people are being mean to J-Lo online. She released that like weird musical film thing. You know what? Maybe not everyone's vibe, but you go, Glen Coco. Like, it's fabulous.
Why are people hating on her?
She's a legend, an icon. People say she can't sing and all this stuff. And I'm like, there are so many bops that she's released.
True.
Waiting for Tonight, like, banger.
Yeah.
And it's
also, Jenny from the Block is a great song.
So many of the songs are great songs. And like Made in Manhattan, great film. Like,
I'm sorry, I draw the line at Made in Manhattan being a great film. That's a Delta Airlines airplane
Made in Manhattan's a great film, and you shut your mouth about what you say about Miss Jennifer Lopez.
That's not right.
She's always been, I think, I think she's like if you, and I mean this as a compliment, if you went to AI and typed in fierce ass pop star, J-Lo, it's like she's just the epitome of a pop star.
Do you think they use that for training AI?
They should.
They just plug her
I hope
face
J-Lo
into
invented AI. She is the reason why Google Images exist. That's true.
What is that to do with J-Lo?
When she came out to the VMAs in that Versace tropical printed iconic dress, the deep plunge one, there were so many online searches for images of that dress and Google Images didn't exist that Eric Schmidt, I think, commissioned Google Images. I may be wrong on who commissioned it, but they commissioned Google Images to be created for that purpose.
I never knew that.
J-Lo gave us Google Images. And she's
given a lot to this world.
Yeah, I'm just all about it. And I think it's so lame whenever, I don't like it when like pop culture decides to hate on one person. I'm like, this person's real. Put years of work into this project they've released.
True.
And it's like, I don't think people would be that mean to someone on the street. So why would you be that mean to an artist that we've all like loved and respected? I don't get the psychology behind it. Is it like a jealousy thing of like, let's tear her down?
I think I'm quite the oxymoron. I love to complain about absolutely everything. So do you. But I am also a fan of like, if you don't like it, don't look at it
100%.
type thing.
Like everything we say is in jest. And
for
like
sure.
We're saying it for humor.
Yeah.
We don't actually believe on like shitting on people.
No, like let them do that.
Yeah.
Like that's fine.
Like, so
I'm
lame.
good with that.
Like people say she's cringe and I'm like, you know what's cringe? Calling someone cringe. I think that's the new norm that needs to be made. Like cringe is such a fucking lame. Cringe is basically a way to just stop people from trying. I think it's lame. And also, when we did our first ever high heels with Giuseppe Zanotti, my goal was I was like, I just want to make a J-Lo shoe. I want to make a shoe that Jennifer Lopez would wear. And then she wore it and did a video about how much she loved it.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Life goal, career goal for you.
Yeah. Big love to Miss Lopez. And then also I met her for the first time not that long ago. And she was just really like overly courteous in a way that most superstars aren't. So any of these like rumors about her like being not the friendliest, I think maybe she's busy. But I mean, in my experience, she was super nice.
What do you think about Texas having ammunition available in vending machines?
Dumb.
So dumb. So dumb.
Yeah, what do I think about it? It's fucking, is that true?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're having vending machines in the stores that you can just buy the ammo in.
Oh God, my brain always gets so confused. Is it JD Vance? DJ Vance?
DJ Vance. DJ Vance. It's JD Vance.
JD Vance being like such a fucking moron in that speech where he was like, this was meant to be a positive anecdote about how his grandma had 16 loaded handguns dotted around the house.
I haven't heard that.
It was in his first speech. And he was like basically implying that it's like the American dream to be able to protect your family with 16 loaded handguns in your house.
You can't even use them all at
that's
one
just
go.
extreme paranoia.
Right.
And having like 6 death machines in your house. Like 16. But
yeah, not great.
Yeah, wild. So
because with that, how do you defend? You can't defend yourself with 16.
Well, I think the idea is that there's always one close to reach.
Oh, they're like dotted around the house.
Yeah, so I guess the mental like maneuver that you have to do to justify it is that like if someone comes in your home, their life must be taken. So you need the gun to take that. I don't really understand that one, but
tough.
I think to us Europeans, the gun thing is very confusing.
Fucking weird.
Very confusing. It's like the rest of the world's pretty good without them.
Yeah, we're not dying.
We're not dying.
It's just like mad, like completely
and then
mad.
They're banning drag queens from performing around kids, but then guns are allowed. I'm like, well, what kills more kids? Not drag queens. It's guns, babe. It's guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don't get that one. I think I've always thought there's 2 things that the UK does better. Only 2. I think America does pretty much everything else better. I love America. I moved here. I fucking love it so much.
Right.
But I think there's 2 things the UK does much better, and that's chocolate and gun control. We do those things.
I love that they're on the same level, the same thought process in your mind. Yeah,
because the chocolate sucks here.
It does. It actually does. But it's to do with the fact that across America you have to temperature control it. So it has these awful chemicals in it.
It's a homogenizer they put in.
Yeah, so it's fine in California, but also fine in Alaska type thing, which is gross.
For ages I thought it was about it surviving on a store shelf. It's not. It's about the shipping. It's the shipping. It gets too warm and shipping, so they've made it so it doesn't melt. But the flaw in that is if it's not melting in a warm room, it means it doesn't melt on your mouth in the same way. Like Hershey's is essentially dirt, compressed.
Such an awful snack.
Unless they choose to sponsor us, and then I
fucking love Hershey's. I'll turn this microphone into a big Hershey's kiss.
Eating it.
Yes, love
it's
it.
my favorite. Name my dog Hershey.
Yeah, I love American chocolate a lot. It's really important to me. It's why I moved here. Is American chocolate. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I should be the face of American chocolate.
The only chocolate that is passable in the US is Tony's Chocolonely, which I'm not sure if I mentioned before.
Every day.
Every day, but if anyone's had it, the butterscotch Tony's Chocolonely is where it's at.
Another thing that
in America. I sent some to Kylie Minogue, anyway.
You did?
Yeah. I sent some to her.
Tony's Chocolonely?
Yeah.
Just bars of it.
Sent me a photo of it.
So dumb. So dumb. You send the dumbest gifts.
I do.
Between the rat and the pineapple and all of these other things you like to send
I
people.
gave my brother a life-size orangutan.
But it was real.
No.
Yeah, just a real orangutan running around his house.
I wish. That's so cute. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
I can't actually remember. Something about, London has a lack of manicures. I forgot to tell you about this. Unmanicured nails everywhere you go. You sit down at dinner with friends, you're like, ooh, that nail's unmanicured.
Yeah, you know what? We've been throwing some shade at America. Let's throw some shade at the UK.
Lack of manicures.
Lack of style. Lack of pizzazz.
I think there's a lack of
charisma.
There's a certain facet of the UK that's really interesting. Like
where?
Quite like Marylebone.
Yeah, Marylebone.
Yeah, that's where it's
nice.
at. Don't love Mayfair, but I enjoy like dipping into Scots. I love a bit of Claridge's, love a bit of Connaught. Fitzrovia chic.
Yeah.
But that's about it. And the countryside of England is where it's at.
For sure.
But what I'm not about is the rest of the other zones within London that are like just tough.
Yeah,
tough.
Everyone's tough there.
Tough.
Yeah, tough. I mean, obviously we love it, but like, do I? It's just, I don't know. It's a bit pessimistic for me, which feels a bit miserable. I think the drinking culture is really weird in the UK. It's like you finish work and you race to a pub and you just stand outside in cold weather holding a cold beverage and just drink.
The cold beverage thing is interesting.
I don't get the cold beverage. Like my hand, just frostbite.
The only good thing about the cold beverage is America really sucks at like tequila shots that are warm. America does that quite often. I've never understood that. Whereas like in Europe, they shake it in a cocktail shaker and then they put it into shot glass and you can drink it, and anything cold is delicious.
But you just compared having a tequila shot from Henrietta Hudson to having a tequila shot, which is a fab lesbian bar in New York, to having a tequila shot at Scott's, which is a 5-star restaurant in London. Like, I think if you go to the nicer establishment, maybe they shake it with ice.
They do.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
I think the UK is very judgmental too. I think we spoke about this with Heidi.
Yeah.
The US is very open-minded clearly not. I mean, that's actually a loaded statement, but I find in general in New York and in our lives, and we're lucky obviously to work in the creative arts, which is filled with open-minded people. But I feel like the creative arts in London isn't that way. I don't think it's as open-minded. I think it's far more judgmental.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and I mean, one weird one actually is I grew up in Cambridge. I have a Cambridge accent, which sounds a bit posher. But it is from the area
posh. You sound like fucking Princess Anne.
And my voice is far less posh than it used to be, but because of America. But it's just the voice of people from that area.
Right.
But in the UK, I literally couldn't operate work-wise because I was just seen as like a posh twat the second I opened my mouth in any creative arts space in London. Like, everyone immediately made an assumption and would want to support me, whereas in the US, it was the opposite. Everyone thought I was smarter than I was, more interesting.
Yeah, dial the accent up.
Yeah, like this accent.
It's a country built on accents.
Yes, it's true. So, I mean, that was a perk of America.
The High Line has been around for 15 years.
I love the High Line.
Yeah, I enjoy the High Line.
I think it's one of the best things that New York ever did. Such a good introduction of green space into the city. Yeah, it's so great. One gripe I've said gripe a lot, with the High Line is they don't allow dogs on it. Fuck off.
Well, that's why it's so nice.
Let me take my dog on it. My dog's
shitting everywhere.
My dog's not having explosive diarrhea all over the High Line.
Most of them are on the High Line. They would.
I guess, but it's just like I would always take Mango on there.
But also the High Line is that if the dog was shitting, the shit would fall through onto the street. The High Line is like it's thingy. What do you call it? Like planks of floor. There's gaps.
It's not grill.
There's gaps.
I find it lame, and I'm like, I don't like green spaces that you're not allowed to take your dog on.
Fine.
Yeah, because as a dog owner, you can never go on the High Line because you're never going on a long walk without your dog. So I can never go on it.
We all pray for you every night that you can't take your dog on the High Line.
People should. Yeah, I love the High Line so much. It's a great one to bring up. And I like Little Island that they built as well, which to people outside of New York is a space that I think Barry Diller funded. And it's like a giant island on stilts on the Hudson River. And I think it's a really cool introduction of green space that just wasn't there before. It was like a dirty pier.
Don't love it.
My favorite part about it is that winter, there's like icicles the size of people on the bottom of it.
Oh, really?
Really cool. Really cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I have an issue at the moment and it's rampant here in California, which is the fucking things that are like trees that hang in the Ubers. And they smell of like
it's
disgusting.
So weird you mentioned this. I was thinking about them yesterday. I want to make earrings. I want to do Christian Cow and brand ones that we use as earrings.
It's called like forest or something. It's disgusting.
They are rank. Because they're in every Uber. And also, I want to know who designed the Christmas tree design. Like, where did it come from? Because
I don't get why it's Christmas
someone
tree.
out there has a fucking mega mansion bought from, and a private jet from those fucking little Christmas tree.
Oh, I see. They've reached like peak wealth. From
they're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. It's one design. It's one font. So it's clearly one company, I'd imagine. But I want to know what they're made out of. Is it like a fiber thing that's just soaked in a rank scent? And the scent's always like black ice. Like what does that smell like? Or like, I don't know, like red mist. And I'm like, what?
Right. You need something a bit more descriptive.
Well, what's interesting is as a business, they've decided that they are so like huge and iconic that they don't need to have fragrances with identifiable names. People will come to them for their specific, like they'll have a religion of people who love a certain scent from them that they've created, rather than just being like cut grass. Right. But yeah, I find it a really interesting business. That one,
I guess.
Maybe we'll go into it one day. But yeah, I want to do earrings like it. I think it'd be cute.
So are scented or no?
Scented, but with like a cute scent. Like
yeah,
not
like
Richard on like
espresso.
Nesto fragrance or something. Yeah, espresso would be cute.
Espresso.
But yeah, I'd love to do that.
Oh.
Yeah. My other thing I was thinking, and is my main concern in life at this point, is why every single time that I have to make a new password for something? Is it like coding the security system for the Pentagon? Like, it's like,
why? What?
It's got to be like it's got to be a certain amount of letters. I've got to have a capital letter in there. I've got to have a number in there. I've got to have a special character. You're making me make a password I won't remember. Never mind someone hacking me.
You use that thing where it does it for you.
No, because it supplies like this wild ass code.
Yeah, but I think it lives there.
No, but then what happens if I'm logging in on a different device? Natt?
Okay, that sounds suspicious.
I'm not fucking someone smart. I'm not Alan Turing. I can't just like rattle off codes at the top of
16
that.
digits.
Also, bearing in mind, we've all got like 40 passwords for different things. Like, what? I'm meant to remember all of them or make them all the same, and then I'm easily hackable. Yeah, there you go.
Huh?
Yeah, fucks me off.
Hackable.
Because I now know if I ever have to log into HBO Max, I guess it's called just Max now, or like whatever it is, I've just reset the password.
Oh, done. I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just got PlayStation 5, so I was like logging into something, and yeah.
We're all praying for you again. This is a lot of episode of this is a lot of your struggle. And thank you for opening up and sharing about it. It's really inspiring for us to know how we're going to get on with our lives.
I only have one more note for this whole thing, and it's something that everyone who's listened to any of this podcast would know. That it just says the fact that I'm a recluse and don't want to be at anything.
Well, you're all about the Irish arrival, right? Which is not even going to the event. Yeah. It's not the Irish exit. It's just never turning up.
I love, if it's a large event, I love to tell someone that I'll be there, and then I love to tell them that I went. I've done that. I'll be like, I was there, and then I had to go. I'm so sorry I missed you. Didn't go. Love that.
It's tough.
I also love, if I'm going to anything, it's for 15 minutes. I'm stopping by, making sure that they were aware that I was present.
Right.
And then I leave.
Get the photo, get out.
I don't know why everyone else seems to enjoy an event so much.
It's strange. It's very strange. But a lot of things are strange to me. Like the idea of leaving my house is something I would not want to do if I didn't need to.
100%.
Just not. I'm fine. I'd build a compound. I'd be quite happy in there. Everyone could come to me.
I don't understand the want to go to an event and have forced, boring conversation about surface level things. That's usually quite repetitive to the conversations you've had with the people you spoke to just prior to that conversation. Like,
correct. Small talk.
Yeah, that's it. Can't do it. But I've started asking people really weird questions. And that's more interesting.
What are you asking people?
The funeral one's a favorite, but
on your first meeting, hello, nice to meet you.
Or
how'd your funeral be?
Or I love to be like, I can't think of anything now, but I'm like, if 100 dogs burst in this room right now, and one of them stole your handbag, what would you do? And
to a stranger?
Yeah.
Sure, they love that.
Well, actually, it's quite a good filtering process because you work out who the jokes people are immediately. Because someone will take to it immediately and love it. And then you're like, sweet, we can chat for 5 minutes.
Right.
And then I'll bounce.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad you found that coping mechanism.
I feel like Nancy Pelosi today.
Yeah. You are giving that. Sometimes you come on here dressed like Justin Bieber. Other times you come on looking like Michelle Obama. And I'm here for it. Yeah. It's interesting.
Up on these hairs.
If you were running for Cow in 2025, who would be your running mate?
Oh my God. Well, obviously you, but
thanks. I was not expecting something so kind to come out of your mouth.
We'd be jokes. We'd get 1 vote. And it would be great though. We'd lose with a landslide. But
I don't know about that.
I'm trying to think who would be, if it wasn't you, who would it be? Who would yours be? I mean.
I think I'd probably be down for some Mariah Carey vibe for me.
Oh, okay.
That kind of seems interesting.
Zero understanding what the people want or need.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing changes. Yeah, it's the same as all. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
She's like, more stretch limousines.
But what an
We're all
epic
going
campaign.
to Aspen.
Yeah, exactly. What an epic campaign. Be awesome. And then the second we'd win, she'd just be spinning around in November being like, it's time.
Your slogan would be, make America Aspen again.
Exactly.
I think mine would be it's not even that fun of an answer. I'd choose a David Attenborough or someone.
We're going to run on Bug's Life.
Well, I find it there could be, the eco-friendly conversation has kind of become uncool for some reason.
But I don't understand why global warming is a myth in America. It's a myth. It's a complete mystical creature. It's like a dragon. It's just fake.
I don't understand why this one fact has just been decided that it's a myth.
Right, and it's polarizing
it's
too.
Inconvenient truth, but like I don't really get like the lack of like you basically hear zero rhetoric around any form of helping the planet really anymore. You hear bits here and there.
Yeah, but it's
like,
not.
It's
polarizing.
Not like a sizable component of anyone's campaign. So clearly it's unfavorable. But I'm like, what? We're not going to talk about it because it's unfavorable?
Well, I think it's not impacting us, so therefore no one gives a fuck, which is terrible.
No sense.
But like, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, I find it so weird. Like as the weather gets worse and like everything gets poopy, it's like people will care. Speaking of bad weather, I watched Twisters, the new movie, sequel to Twister.
Oh,
that came out years ago, and it's just terrible.
Okay,
just terrible.
Thank you for that.
Really I was so there to love it. I'd had 2 edibles. I was really ready to be into it. I was really ready to have a good fucking time.
Was this last night?
No. It was a few nights ago. And just that film just sucked ass.
That bad?
I think so.
Okay.
Just like so snooze. Like you see a Twister over there and someone dies, but you don't really see them die. And it's like, give me new vantage points. Honestly, what's it like when someone in a plane that gets sucked into the Twister? What was if the Twister goes over a nuclear power plant and blows up? Like I want extreme Twister shit. And instead we just got more Twisters in fields.
Is that all it was just
Twisters in fields? There's a 10-second snippet where it goes over like something that blows up and you're like, cunty slay, this is fab. So apart from that, it was just yawn after yawn.
Twisters and tornadoes.
Tries to, we'll get into that. Tries to be like half a glass of Matthew McConaughey with half a glass of water added on top. Which, sorry, Savage, because I actually think, I'm sure he's great, but...
I'd love to invite him on to talk about how he feels about that statement.
It's like all the trying to be Matthew McConaughey, but you're not Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
And Matthew McConaughey is still alive, so why isn't he in it? Like, it's just, none of it made sense. And I was so there to like the film because I love like Day After Tomorrow or like, and they can be shit as well. And I still love it. Just give us the gags.
Something.
And we didn't get it. It was so lame. But,
that's disappointing.
And going back to is a Twister or tornado, I haven't consulted a meteorologist recently.
Okay.
But I believe, a Twister can form over land. And I think a tornado is over water. And tornadoes are larger. And Twisters are generally smaller. I'm not certain on that one.
Speaking of forming over water, a thank you to our sponsor.
Oh my God.
Just Core Hydration.
Now, if there was more Core Hydration in Twisters, that would have been a banging film. That would have been exciting and hydrating to the core.
The thing I find interesting about this is it is the same pH as your body. So it's mimicking the water that's already in your body. And I think that's actually quite interesting.
How does it know the pH of my body? Of the average human body.
Yeah. But yours is obviously going to be more acidic.
Yeah, mine's like 400. It's like sulfuric
and I
acid.
take so much activated charcoal that I am like...
You're alkaline.
Yeah, I'm so alkaline.
You are just whatever alkaline is, that is you. But yeah, we love it.
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
it's also 0 calories. Which I think is awesome.
It's a great selling point for water.
Yeah, you can barely find foods anymore that are 0 calories. That's cool.
And no one's allergic to it. So there's so many positives going for Core Hydration.
Yeah. No, but I quite like the bottle.
And they do the cute campaigns.
Yeah, they do the bit. They do the bit.
Chloe and Halle
they do the
thing.
Bit. Yeah.
So we love it.
So thanks.
Also, speaking about last night, there's ads going on too long. No, but like it's also made from recycled, which we love. More presidents need to be like this bottle. Recycled plastic.
True. Very true. Yeah, well, this was fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I am going to go home.
Yeah, I'm going back to the chateau to eat some bolognese.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah, we'll do it on different tables.
Okay.
Bye.